It's been a week now.
Yeah.
And the news about Pope Francis's hospitalization has everyone on edge.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, we've seen such an outpouring of concern and prayers from all around the globe. But the latest update for the Vatican, it's really dialed up the worry,
Yeah.
calling his condition critical and mentioning an asthmatic respiratory crisis.
Right.
That's got to be concerning.
It definitely raises a lot of questions.
Yeah.
While the Vatican has been careful with their language, the term asthmatic respiratory crisis suggests the Pope is facing a significant challenge,
Right.
especially considering his age and his history.
Yeah, you're right. His age is definitely a factor here.
Oh, yeah.
He's 88 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't his first brush with serious health issues.
No.
He's had colon surgery, bouts of bronchitis, and even some recent falls.
Right.
All those previous health challenges.
Yeah.
They can certainly make recovery from any illness more difficult.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
body accumulates those stresses over time.
Yeah.
And bouncing back isn't as easy as it once was.
Definitely not.
Okay, so let's unpack this asthmatic respiratory crisis. What exactly does that mean in layman's terms?
Essentially, it means the Pope is experiencing severe difficulty breathing,
Okay.
likely due to a sudden worsening of his asthma. You might recall that he had part of a lung removed in his youth,
Right.
so he's always been more vulnerable to respiratory issues.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And the reports mentioned he needed high-flow oxygen and is in more pain than he was the day before.
Right.
That sounds pretty alarming.
It's definitely serious.
Yeah.
Breathing difficulties can take a toll on the body,
Mm-hmm.
and pain is often a sign that things are not improving as quickly as hoped.
Right.
Yeah.
They also mentioned blood transfusions.
Uh-huh.
What's the significance of that?
Okay.
Is it directly related to the respiratory issues?
Not directly.
Okay.
The blood transfusions are most likely to address anemia,
Okay.
which is a common issue in older adults,
Uh-huh.
especially those battling a serious illness.
Right.
It's basically a way to boost his overall strength and resilience, giving his body more resources to fight the infection and recover.
So anemia is something we often see in older adults.
Yeah.
Is it something we should be concerned about on its own?
Well,
Or just in the context of his current situation?
anemia in older adults is often a sign that something else is going on.
Okay.
It could be a simple nutritional deficiency,
Right.
but it can also be a symptom of something more serious.
Yeah.
In the Pope's case, it's another indicator that his body is working overtime and his reserves are being depleted.
That's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
There was another detail that caught my attention.
Okay.
The Pope spending the day in an armchair.
Uh-huh.
Is that a positive sign? Does it mean he's getting better?
Well, we all hope it points to improvement. It's
Right.
not necessarily a definitive indication.
Okay.
Sitting upright can sometimes help with breathing difficulties. So it could be part of managing his discomfort and fatigue.
Okay.
We need more information to interpret it accurately.
I see. It's almost like trying to piece together a puzzle with missing pieces.
Exactly.
We're looking for any clues we can find
Yeah.
to understand the situation.
And sometimes the absence of information can be just as telling as the information itself.
Right.
For instance, the fact that the Pope missed the weekly Angelus prayer is quite significant.
Now that you mention it,
Yeah.
this is only the third time he's missed it in his nearly 12 years as Pope, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That really underscores how serious this situation is. Earlier this week, there were reports that he was responding well to pneumonia treatment.
Yeah.
What could have caused this sudden downturn?
Pneumonia can be tricky, especially for someone like the Pope.
Right.
Even with treatment, it can have unpredictable turns. His age and previous health issues make him more susceptible to complications.
His surgeon, who operated on him previously,
Right.
made a rather cryptic statement
Yeah.
saying both doors are open. What's your interpretation of that?
It's a way of acknowledging the seriousness of the situation.
Okay.
Without sounding alarmist, it means the Pope is seriously ill.
Right.
But it's not necessarily an immediate life or death situation.
Okay.
However, his age is a major factor,
Right.
making any illness more challenging. Yeah, it is. It's a delicate balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Communicating honestly about the severity of the situation,
Right.
but also maintaining a sense of hope.
Absolutely. And speaking of hope,
Yeah.
it's been so heartwarming to see the outpouring of support from around the world. People of all faiths and backgrounds are sending prayers and well wishes.
It's incredible.
We've seen candlelit vigils,
Yeah.
children's drawings sent to the hospital,
Yeah.
and even visits from world leaders like Prime Minister Maloney.
It's really quite remarkable.
Yeah, it really is.
That global response speaks volumes about the Pope's impact
Mm-hmm.
and the affection people have for him.
Right.
It's a testament to his ability to connect with people from all walks of life.
It makes you wonder, though,
Yeah.
how much is the Pope aware of this outpouring of support?
Hmm.
And could it actually have an impact on his recovery?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
It's hard to say for sure how much filters through to him,
All right.
but I wouldn't underestimate the power of knowing you have millions of people rooting for you.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just a subconscious awareness,
Yeah.
that positive energy could contribute to a sense of well-being,
Right.
which can be crucial in the healing process.
It's a fascinating concept.
Yeah.
The idea that collective hope and positive energy could have a tangible effect.
Absolutely.
But let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Even while hospitalized, the Pope has continued some of his work,
Right.
including making phone calls to Gaza and signing off on decisions.
I did see that.
That's remarkable, but it also raises concerns, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Should he be pushing himself like this?
It's a complex issue.
Yeah.
On one hand, it speaks to his incredible dedication and sense of duty. He's clearly driven by a deep commitment to his role
Right.
and the people he served.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's natural to worry about the potential strain this puts on him,
Right.
physically and mentally,
Yeah.
especially at a time when he needs to focus on healing.
I'm curious about those phone calls to Gaza.
Yeah.
What message do you think he's trying to send by reaching out amidst his own health struggles?
It's a powerful symbol of his unwavering commitment to peace and dialogue. Even in the face of adversity, he's
Yeah.
sending a clear message that those issues remain at the forefront of his mind,
Right.
even as he battles this illness.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that the work for peace never stops.
You've mentioned his sense of duty several times.
I have, yeah.
What do you think drives that dedication? Is it purely a sense of religious obligation?
Yeah.
Or is there something more at play?
It's probably a combination of factors.
Okay.
Certainly, his faith plays a central role.
Right.
He sees his papacy as a divine calling, a responsibility entrusted to him by God. But I also think there's a deep-seated empathy and compassion for humanity that fuels his actions.
Right.
He sees the suffering in the world and feels compelled to act.
Yeah.
You offer comfort, guidance, and hope.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It seems like his actions are guided by both a sense of duty and a genuine desire to help others.
I think that's right.
It's a powerful combination.
It is.
But back to his work from the hospital bed.
Okay.
Do we have any insight into what those decisions he's been signing off on might be?
Unfortunately, the specifics haven't been publicly disclosed.
Okay.
It's likely matters related to the day-to-day functioning of the Vatican and the Church.
Right.
However, the fact that he's engaging in these duties, even while ill, speaks to the demanding nature of his role. There's no real time off.
Right.
When you're the leader of over 1 billion Catholics?
It makes me think about the nature of leadership in the modern age.
Yeah.
Technology allows for a level of connectivity that wasn't possible even a few decades ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Leaders can theoretically remain engaged from almost anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Is that a blessing or a curse?
It's a double-edged sword for sure. On the one hand, it allows for greater efficiency and responsiveness.
Right.
A leader can stay informed and make decisions even while traveling or dealing with personal matters.
Right.
But on the other hand, it blurs the lines between work and rest, potentially adding stress and pressure.
Yeah.
Even during times of illness or crisis.
Right.
It raises questions about the importance of setting boundaries and prioritizing well-being, even for those in positions of power.
You've touched on something important there.
Okay.
The impact of stress.
Yeah.
It's hard not to wonder how the weight of his position, coupled with his health challenges,
Right.
might be affecting the Pope's mental and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
He's not just a religious leader.
No.
He's a global figure, advocating for peace, social justice, and environmental protection.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a lot to carry on anyone's shoulders.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Pope's role carries immense responsibility and pressure.
Right.
He's constantly navigating complex issues, facing criticism from various factions, and making decisions that impact millions of lives.
Yeah.
It's a demanding job, both intellectually and emotionally.
Right.
And when you add in the physical stress of illness,
Right.
it's a recipe for potential burnout and exhaustion.
His focus on those issues you mentioned, peace, social justice, environmental protection,
Right.
has really been a hallmark of his papacy.
Yeah.
He's spoken out against war and violence, called for action on climate change, and championed the rights of migrants and refugees.
Yeah.
It's a bold agenda,
It is.
and it hasn't been without its detractors.
You're right. His papacy has been marked by a deep concern for the marginalized and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
Right.
He's even been criticized by some for his progressive stance on social issues,
Yeah.
but he seems undeterred in his mission to modernize the church and make it more relevant to the challenges of the 21st century.
Yet despite those criticisms,
Yeah.
he remains incredibly popular,
He does.
both within the church and among people of other faiths.
Yeah,
His humility, compassion, and commitment to dialogue
yeah.
have resonated with many.
It's true.
He's someone who can speak with authority on matters of faith, while also engaging with world leaders
Yeah,
and addressing pressing social issues.
it's true.
It's a unique combination
Yes.
that has made him a truly global figure.
Yeah.
There's that blend of tradition and progress
Yeah.
that makes him so compelling. But this health crisis,
Yeah.
it raises questions about the sustainability of his ambitious agenda.
Right.
Will he have the stamina to continue at this pace?
Right.
Especially given his age and recent health setbacks.
It's a valid concern,
Yeah.
and one that's likely being discussed within the Vatican. This experience might prompt a reassessment of his priorities
Right.
and a delegation of some responsibilities.
Yeah.
Church has well-established procedures for handling papal incapacitation, but this situation undoubtedly creates uncertainty and anxiety.
It also brings to mind his previous comments about potentially resigning.
Yes.
If his health prevents him from fulfilling his duties,
Yeah.
do you think this current situation might push him toward that decision?
It's certainly possible.
Yeah.
Pope Francis has never shied away from breaking with tradition.
Right.
He's a pragmatist and seems to prioritize the well-being of the church above all else.
Yeah.
If he feels he can no longer serve effectively, he might choose to step aside.
And what would that mean for the church? The next pope would inherit a church in transition,
Absolutely.
grappling with internal divisions and external pressures.
A pivotal moment for the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Will they choose someone who continues Pope Francis's reforms
Right.
or someone who takes a more conservative approach? The decision will have a profound impact on the direction of the church for years to come.
It's a lot to consider.
It is.
This whole situation,
Yeah.
it's really brought the human side of leadership into focus. We often see these figures on a global stage
Right.
and forget that they're just as vulnerable as anyone else.
It's a reminder that even in the grandeur and formality of the Vatican,
Yeah.
there's a very human story unfolding. A story of faith, resilience,
Yeah.
and the fragility of life.
We can only hope and pray for his recovery
Yes,
and for the strength and wisdom to navigate whatever challenges lie ahead,
absolutely.
both for the Pope and the Church. Your insights into the complexities of this situation have been incredibly helpful.
Oh, glad to be of service.
Thank you for sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, this situation raises so many important questions,
It does.
not just about the future of the Catholic Church,
Yeah,
but also about leadership, resilience, and the human condition.
absolutely.
It's a story that will continue to unfold,
It will.
and we'll all be watching closely.
I'm sure we will.